Jack, so well, so just Jana Bocramo, what I am now. In we yo, in we yo. And we are the Bramo, in we yo. The bells are about in one year, in one thing, in one body here, in one get crying about. Oh, where's all you have wanted to go? Where's all you have? I didn't well hold of you. Every time I'm a addition, but of your mom was no good. Yeah. I got it will be a buy honey. If you're about to go west or yeah, or me, I think that will be a bar. That will be a bar. Yes, one of us are we are halfway. Is that when you're making for your baby hair bar? Himalaya Jacobana, when you're flying backward. I tell you what, no, we don't know. You are whatever. I got all you. Keep your way, go west or you're out. On me, I did that will be a bar. Yeah, well, yeah. The 2 days, we have to away. You're free. If what way, yeah, Yama to the air, one more you want. No one does a money about your money. You want, Yanu, Dio, Monio. No, we don't know the brother that what I yell. In what to the idea to without a money and Mulo, you. Yeah, we are not on, we are about that one here. We are on here. It's Gabra, you know, one Gabra here. You may blow your way. You may blow your way. Let us go now, so now. Let us go now. With another to him. I say, to our bill, to our bit. Beyo,
Samson Toll, Liberian Public Radio. I want to thank all of you again for tuning in. It's a very tough one here, but we're going to do our best here tonight. So please bear with us as we go on. We're not going to be here that long. First thing first, safety. Lord Jesus, we want to thank you again this evening for bringing us here together. Lord, you know what's going on with our hearts. We ask you. So please be with us. Continue to console us, the family. And we ask you to continue to bless us as you will have us say. I want to thank all of you again this evening for tuning into Liberian Public Radio, Samson Toll. This is not one of those areas where I come in and try to politicking and what have you. This is a very serious one. Of course, politics is also serious. But my brother passed. He's a very good friend of mine. Very, very good friend of mine. Childhood friend. Grew up together. They mostly everything together, you can't say. But he passed a week ago, so Sunday. And so I've been away from Liberian Public Radio for quite a while. I want to thank Mr. So and Mr. Craig, Mazura Gizi, and the rest of the LPR family. Thank you guys for taking the load for me. Thank you very much. But to the audience that perhaps you have not seen the Liberal Progressive for a while, that's the reason the Liberal is bereaved. And hopefully after the burial, we will be ourselves again. And one of the reason that I did is I called a few family members today, and I asked them, "Do you think I should?" Because that's one of the reasons I'm not going to be here tonight. It's uncharted water. I might see myself crying here tonight. It's not out of the rim because I'm very close to this young man. There will be some things that I will say here, perhaps it will evoke certain emotion that I might not be able to control, but I'll do my best. I will do my best. And so I will be coming on, but then when I spoke with a family member, what do you think I need to do? Because obviously we have to get back on our feet and come back onto these platforms and what have you. But I don't want to come back on this platform without me, even if it's just 1 or 2 minutes, a tribute to my brother, which I didn't think I was going to be able to even stay this long talking. Because last week, I was terrible, completely devastated, to be honest with you. Because he's a friend. And so, bear with us here tonight as we try to pay our own tribute. I usually, the last time that a good friend, close friend, childhood friend passed, I did some writing. But this one, I just couldn't find the words. I like writing. Not that I can't write, I like writing. But I just was not able to express myself adequately to be satisfied to what I want to say. And I spoke with LPR management and explained to them, and they said, yeah, go ahead and do that. And so thanks to those guys for giving us the opportunity to do so. And once again, I am here this evening to pay tribute to my own brother and friend, Louis Shoro, who passed. This is just difficult. Louis Shoro passed. But that's Louis. It's a tough one, like I said, and I will do my best to hold myself together here, compose myself, and try to be audible, and try to make sense of what is happening. So let's go. Let's go. This is Louis Shoro, Kugo Bear, as is known back home. This passed, like I said, on Sunday. So this is what happened for me. Sunday night, I was asleep, and the phone rang over and over. Our cousin brothers, James K. called me 3 o'clock in the morning. Harrison called me 2:30 in the morning. Joseph K. Everybody calling me, but I was asleep. I didn't even see or hear anything. The next day, Sunday morning, I decided, because I had this project that I'm supposed to deliver, I decided I'm going to go to work. So I went to work. I didn't check voicemail. I didn't check anything. I was there. So my other little cousin, Junior Toe, came up and said, "Uncle, why did you do this to us? You didn't even talk to me. You didn't even tell me. You always coming to check it." And I'm thinking to myself, that's my cousin. Who is his uncle? Is he talking about? So, of course, I thought of 2 people. One of them was Louis, because we know Louis has not been feeling well for a while, but from time to time, he's been carrying himself. So another person, I'm not going to call his name. So I said, no, it can't be. Well, anyway, I'm here to work. I didn't want to be honest with you. It was one of those times that you're afraid to say, if you ask question, something would be something and you're not ready to hear. I said, I want to do my work. So I wanted to call Junior, but then I said, no, let me leave it alone. Then another one came up. Uncle, what happened? You didn't even tell us. I said, what is, and these are all my cousins. I said, what are these people talking about? Then I got a phone call from an old friend from Rhode Island. And he started sympathizing with me without telling me exactly what that person, what they was sympathizing for. And I didn't want to say, why are you sympathizing? Because then it would look like somebody passed and I'm just dumb. I don't know what happened. So I said, okay, thank you. Just accept it. After that, I said, my skin started feeling different. My heart pounding. I said, what happened? What's with this? Because this person is closely connected to Louis and myself. And of course, Harrison and everybody else. So I said, okay, I need to call. But the first thing, this is what was happening. A day before, Louis has sent me pictures of my uncle, his father, and my grandfather's grave, our other cousin, Shatan Tao, went home and fixed. So he sent me the pictures to look at them because the graves are right next to my father's house. So he sent me the picture, and I said, okay, well, I'll call Louis. So the intent was, I'm going to go to work Sunday, get myself caught up with whatever that I'm doing, then I'll call Louis and we shoot the breeze as usual. As usual, there was nothing. But this time, I just thought, what happened? Why these people saying these things? Why they calling me like that? So I decided to check my mail, my voicemail. And then immediately as soon as I opened up, I saw James K. number 3 o'clock a.m. Oh my God, what is this? And then I put it on, and he said, Louis passed. Like the phone was some sort of a snake or something. I just threw the phone out of my hand completely. I couldn't believe it. And people started calling me, sympathizing. And I'm like, I've wanted to get on the Facebook to say, nobody call me anymore. This is not true. What have you? I said, calm down, calm down. You're much older than most of the kids. Just calm down. So I tried reaching people. So I called Harrison. By this time, I was a wreck. I called Harrison. And he confirmed. I got to be careful here. He confirmed that yes, Louis has passed. And I was devastated. Completely devastated. I didn't want to call his wife. So I called my wife and I explained to her what was happening. She said, yeah, people been calling me, and I told them you're at work and people want me to come and get you. Do you want me to come and get you from where we'll leave one car over there, you ride? I said, no, I can make it. Just give me a few time. And I stayed in the office for about 30 minutes, 45 minutes or so, just wailing, thinking about old days. Couldn't believe it. So that was the story. And eventually I was able to get in touch with James. We talked. But anyhow, who is Louis dos Sampson to? Louis, the very first time that I became aware of my surrounding, because you don't just born and automatically know what's going on. The very first time that I became aware of my surrounding, that I am somebody, a child in Totown. It was one afternoon. We have this hill. We have quarter. I think I explained to you guys one time when I went to Totown and show you the video. We have quarters. So our quarter is on the other side of the town. If I'm not, it's on the north of Totown. Let's put it that way. So anyhow, we have this system where we were supposed to be. At that time, they have just built the Ivory Coast Road. I don't even remember how Ivory Coast Road was built, but they have this one big tire, okay? And you get in a tire, and they were at the top of the hill. You get in a tire, and they roll the tire. While you're in it, they'll tell you, the older boys, they will tell you to hold on, because if not, you're going to be flopping all over and hurt yourself. So you hold on to the tail life, and the tire keep rolling. You know what happened? Until it hit the sand dune that these older boys, older brothers that were made down the hill. But if you're unlucky, and for some reason the tire skewed and go outside of the area where the sand dune is, the next place you're going, the logical place to stop is the breadfruit tree. It's a big tree. You're going to hit that tree and hope that it's not your head that hitting the tree. So a couple of times we all hit the tree. But anyway, so Louis and I started knowing myself a little bit, that I have other relatives and other friends. So Louis and I, we keep taking turns about duo. Afrikanye, most of the people I'm naming, and they're all dead, by the way. Afrikanye, the Monroe's brothers. But Monroe's brother were the civilized of the Totown group because they are followers in the army, and some of them they grew up in either Lofa or some outside of Totown. So when they come home, they're considered to be civilized. But anyway, they allowed themselves to be part of this group. So we did that. When the nighttime came, the older brothers decided to have competition with us, among us to have a competition. So what we used to do, you go and borrow your man lapa. If you're from the countryside, you will understand exactly what I'm talking about. So the lapa, the idea is who could run faster and have a bigger sail in the lapa, so to speak. So the older guys that are not going to run, they stage themselves at a certain position. So when you pass that person, they watch your sail, they watch the lapa and how far the lapa is. And they will say this person lapa for, and I don't care what kind of method, but at the end they will come out who the winner is. So Louis has a bow leg, but he could run, but not as fast as Samson. To forget it. The only person that could run a little bit faster was Abadua, but he was shorter too. Anyway, so we put the lapa around us, and when you put the lapa around yourself, tie around your waist, and you hold it two ends like this, and you start running. The wind that goes through your arms over your shoulder goes into the lapa, and it makes it bigger. And it was very interesting. So we started doing it. Eventually, Louis won. So I said, then let's do it again. So the older brothers, of course, they enjoy it anyway. They say, yeah. So before we got in there, I went around Louis, and without me even knowing that I hit him, and I loosened his lapa that was tied around his waist. So in the process of running, he held the lapa like this, and the waist side went loosened. So he accused me of sabotaging his second wing. Yeah, I still remember this. Those are some of the reasons when we get together. Those of you who don't understand why is it that these two brothers, when they're always together, they're arguing. These are some of the reasons. Anyway, there was no winner because Louis Lapa went, tied, whatever. So they said we're not going to do anything. So the next day, my dad had a bicycle. He was fixing his bicycle, and I was there giving him tools. Perhaps this is where my fixing thing come from. Anyway, so Louis came to complain to my father what have happened the night before. So my dad told him, because we the same age. My dad said, well, if it was me and somebody come and sabotage my program like this, I was jumping to fight. He said, are you serious? My dad said, yeah. While I was sitting down, Louis just jumped on me. He and I got into it. Big time fight. Of course, I want to fight. So his mother and the other people came around. What happened? My father was laughing. So they said, what happened? Why you had each other fight and you're laughing? He said, man, they want to try strength. From that point on, Louis and I became very close. We never got in a fight again. He doesn't remember that because the last time I brought it up to him, he said, I don't remember any of that. But I do. So anyhow, while we were in the town, we were very close. We used to go bird hunting with a slingshot. I forget slingshot, that queenie, last Pierre. That when you hold it, they flew. You let it go and the bird coming. But anyway, we used to go bird hunting. One of the things I noticed, most of us were lazy making farm. So we were not people that will go making farm and what have you. But we go and set trap, animal traps, bird traps. We did all of those things. We caught pandas. No, there's no question asked. So one time, Louis and another brother, Eddie Bayer, he's passed now too. So him and Louis, before that, a week before that, we were at the gate, Toton Gate. So if at night, car traveling from Monrovia coming, and I felt within myself that the driver was being disrespectful. I felt that if the driver coming at night, you get to Toton, you cut your lights off. Why are you shining your light in people's faces? That's the motor road. There's no serious stuff. So I took my Lassipier, I broke one of the headlights. So of course, I got in trouble for that. So the next, about 2 or 3 days later, similar stuff happened. But what happened was, the guy who headlight got broken lives in Tota. He's from Nimakande. They call him Noam Biro. He used to stay in Tota, doing business in Tota. But anyway, so his headlight that night got broken, and what happened was he was behind another car. So apparently, when the guy started speeding, the rack from the tires hit the hit the headlight and broke it. But because Louis and Bayon were at the same spot, closer by, they accused them. So anyway, that evening while we were playing football, they decided to come and collect these people. They did. They got Bayon and Louis. Of course, they didn't go anywhere. But when the news got to his brother, his older brother, who we all call Uncle, Ansa Sharo, he also passed in Rhode Island. Ansa Sharo was a heavy-duty mechanic, chief-duty mechanic in Lamco. Very good at that, and I will get to that. So he decided, okay, Louis, I don't want you in Tota. Come to Lamco and go to school. So Louis left us. The day before Louis left, my goodness, we couldn't, Louis, Edward, Albert, Tokiame. But Newton was a little bit smart. We were a little bit older than Newton. Okay. But we all were sitting around. What happened? So we started asking, when you go to Lamco, what are you going to be doing? These are people you don't know, the amount of people, what are you going to do? All that kinds of stuff. Louis was confused. How is he going to go to school? Who is he going to be friends with? He never left Town to go anywhere before. So anyway, we were supposed to be consoling him, and we're making things worse. That we heard the amount of people, the devil can catch children. Oh, Louis was petrified. But anyway, his brother came, and they took him to Lamco. So Louis was in Lamco for years. And then later on, my father and I went to Bapa. Now, if you're from Nima, Upper Nima, you will know the relationship between Lamco and Bapa. It's not that far. Okay, Bapa is a diamond digging area. Lamco, of course, is where the people dig iron ore and stuff like that. So my dad felt that me staying in Bapa and getting into too much fight and things like that, it was not real well for me. So I need to go to Lamco. So I went to Lamco to Ansa and Louis. So I too started staying there. One of the things, Louis thought it was funny. So he used to put, hot water heater. They have these flat iron that you put it in that water and plug it in. Because Lamco used to have lights, by the way. So you plug it in and they heat the water. But the interesting thing is, while this water, the hot water heater is in there, you can't touch it because it's going to be electrocuted. Not to kill you, but it's going to knock you out. So the very first night, Louis said, Samson, why don't you, knowing full well what this thing was capable of doing, Samson, why don't you test that water and see if it's hot? Samson told. So I said, okay. Because back home, when you have water on the fire, you usually test it to see if it's hot or not. I put my hand in. I could fly out of that. Louis was laughing. My uncle was upset with him. Why would you do that? Well, you know very well this thing is dangerous. What will you do? Oh, Louis was. So that's Louis. So anyhow, after some time, we left, came back, left Louis over there. So my uncle was getting ready to go to Germany because the Lamco company wanted to send him to Germany for more training because he was one of the best, and they wanted to keep him around. So they sent him to Germany, and he left Louis with one of his friends. So I didn't see Louis again for a very long time. And then finally, when we were a little bit older now, Louis came back to Totown. By that time, Totown was just too small for me at the time. Louis, I believe, spent 1 year in Totown and came to Monrovia. But what had happened to Louis when he came to Monrovia, he was just a gifted child. Louis was, anybody that know Louis that went to the high school, they call, what's the high school? It's AG, the web, I think it's blue and green or something like that, but AG. It's a big high school in Monrovia. So when Louis entered the high school, the first year, 9th grade, he got promotion to the 11th grade. By the end of the second year, Louis was out of high school. That's how smart he was. And quite recently, we were talking, and I asked him, because I'm an engineer now too. I know a little bit now, but I was dumb at the time. I said, Louis, what was happening? So he explained to me. He said, it just came to me like nothing, Sam. It wasn't that I was making any effort. The science, the math especially, it was just easy. I could, as soon as they explained, I just get up quickly. The science, the history, everything. So whenever the test come, I don't have to suffer. I just make the grade A's. I said, wow. So anyhow, we were in Monrovia after the last year before Louis would graduate. At that time, we were the boys, Eddie Bayo and myself, we were the king of Monrovia at the time, and from our own little quarter now. E.J. Raw was the place to be, but Louis was never to be found for places like E.J. Raw. You go, Louis and another gentleman, and I will tell you a little bit about this gentleman. He's dead now too. His name was Jefferson Quenwa, called him Taylor. So Taylor and us were about the same age group. Let me just name those who were about the same age. That was me, Louis, Abbott, Africanye, Blanc Rod, Eddie Bayon, was a lady, Nina was another lady, Sgan, who is Pazawi, little sister, she's here now, and who else, who am I leaving out? I think we were maybe about 12 or so, but they were born about the same time. So the interesting thing that was happening was that we all knew we were about the same age group. Okay, so Louis, while we were in Monrovia, were taking the book business serious. I, on the other hand, were taking E.J. Raw and nightclub serious. That was my life. I didn't want to school for what? Why would I want to leave E.J. Raw and go to school? But Louis wasn't like that. Okay, even though it came easy for him, but his intent was he wanted to graduate LU with honor, because he wanted for people to know it's not just Louis Sherrill that graduating from LU. He wanted to graduate from LU with honor, so people would know that he know what he's talking about. Okay, so very interesting. But for me, on the other hand, E.J. Raw. So anyhow, there's this guy Taylor, when we were growing up in Tota, another person, my cousin Harrison Shaw, who we consider to be like the chicken egg among us. If you want to fight any of us, even as old as we are, and Harrison and myself together, you start confusion, you're going to deal with me. It doesn't matter whether I owe or not. It's always been like that. So this Taylor guy, there's another guy that he's not from our area. Crown man, don't forget. But he's not from our area. He came from somewhere else to go to school. But he and Taylor got into it one time. I wasn't there. Louis wasn't there. And he beat Taylor up and put knot all over Taylor's face. And when I got in town, first I was the first person to get in town. The people started complaining about duo city soccer. They started telling me what the guy did. Okay, you beat Taylor, so what? But why would you put mark all over him? Give him knot all over his face. So I told the people, well, where's his bike? I'm gonna deal with this guy. And I purposely told this guy in school, I'm going to beat you before the day's over. Everybody asking me, the principal asking why. I said, because he beat Taylor. I'm not going to let him go. The night, instead of him to go to people playing, want to stay in total 18, man, I dealt with him. Then when Louis asking, I wasn't here and you beat Taylor that day, everybody complained, I will whoop you. And Louis whooped him. But anyway, in Monrovia, Louis and Taylor was living together. Taylor and myself at that time, we were no longer in speaking turn because what he did to my little brother, and it was so bad for me that I decided I'm not going to talk to this man anymore in life, and I didn't. But that's a different subject matter. So anyway, Louis was there going to school while we were there fooling around. The year Louis graduated from high school, like I said, he started 9th grade, the next year 11, the next year 12 finished, that's it. Louis Shoro. So anyway, after that, Louis and Harrison, Uncle Ansab, came from Germany. There's a company in Rhode Island called Rhode Island Sand and Gravel. They wanted a heavy-duty mechanic. And they find out from a guy in Germany that we have a guy here that can do all of these things. So they brought Ansam, my uncle, brought him from Germany to Sand and Gravel. No, first it was in New York. And the Sand and Gravel in New York sent him to Rhode Island to work over there as a heavy-duty mechanic. That's how good he was. So anyway, but let me tell you a little bit about Ansar Shah. Another cousin that you heard me talking about, he used to work for CID. And when I used to be a goldsmith, people used to throw me in jail every time. He would always be there, call him Willie K. But Willie K, according to the story, Willie K and Ansar Shah went to Ghana to learn trade. So Ansar decided he wanted to be a mechanic. Willie K decided he wanted to be a photographer. So when they all got their trade, they came by. Willie K used to be a photographer with Tutman. He later on became CID person. But that's how, and Ansar became a big mechanic person. He went to Lamco, then from there, Bowman got him, and then from there, they went to Germany, then from Germany, he came to America. So when Louis finished, he said, okay, why don't you and Harrison come over? So he sent for Harrison and Louis. So they got here. 6 months later, Samson told follow. I will show you a picture now of us not together. Okay, this is not Louis and myself together, but I just put it together. And this picture's fitting exactly what I think it's supposed to be. Let me make it a little bit. Let me see if I can do that. No, that's not it. Okay, that's not it. Just bear with me, folks. Just bear with me, folks. I'm trying my best. Okay, so this is it. No, it's not gonna work. But anyway, the picture you see over there, that picture, that's Louis, and that's Samson Toe in Rhode Island. The pants that I had on, that white pen, is the same type of white pen Louis having on. If people who are close to the Louis picture, please look at it. The white shoes that I have on, it's the same type of white shoe Louis have on at that time. Because why? We bought those clothes together from the same store downtown Providence. And we wanted to wear white shoes and white pants, so we think we were twins. That's how close we were. Anyway, when Louis got here, after I came, when I came, my uncle went to New York to meet me, to pick me up. So when I got to New York, true story, folks. When I got to New York, my uncle was on his way, of course. I called, and Louis told me, said, "Oh, the uncle's on his way." But there was a guy who and I, both of us used to work at the Ministry of Education, a Ghanaian guy. But when he came with so much money in a suitcase. And so when he got to the immigration office in New York, they stopped him. And when they stopped him, they decided to do whatever investigation. So they asked him, where you get all the money from? He couldn't say where you get the money from. So they said, okay, get on that side. When I saw that they were putting him on that side, and the kind of story you hear about immigration in Liberia, I wasn't about ready to sit around, wait around. So I got outside. True story, folks. So when I got outside, I took a taxi. I called a taxi. I said, the taxi driver said, where you going? I said, I'm going to Rhode Island. From New York to Rhode Island, 4 hours. I didn't know that. I thought Rhode Island was in New York. So the guy told me $350. Well, I had $600 on me. $350, $3.50, no big deal. I can do that. I said, let's go. I got in the taxi. 2 hours later, still driving. We got in Rhode Island 4 hours later. My uncle went over to pick me up, no Samson. So he decided when we got there, Louis called. He called Louis. Louis said, hey, not yet, but I don't see him. So my uncle said, okay, I'm going to come back. So on my uncle coming, we got in Rhode Island, the taxi driver and myself. So he wanted more money. So he said, how many dollars you have? I didn't want to tell him. So Louis said, well, what do you have? I said, I have 6. He said, okay, let's give him 4. Because it meant, how do you call it? The meter was running. True story, folks. So we give him 400. When my uncle got in town, he was so pissed. Unbelievable. But anyway, we were there in Rhode Island. Louis then was going to the college, Rhode Island Community College. You already have papers. I didn't have no papers. So I, on the other hand, because I didn't have papers, I was able to go to the other trade school. It's a machine shop, where I learned how to run engine lathe, milling machine, engine tool lathe, where you make machine tools. So I learned all of that. I can do all that. So anyway, Louis, after that, he decided he wanted to be a mechanic as well. So he went to mechanic school, and he became a mechanic. He used to fix brakes, he used to fix car and everything. So anyhow, we were living with my uncle. And this is Louis Samson told. Anyhow, yeah. So while we were there, my uncle had 2 cars. One was for him to go to work. The other one is to drive around. So one time, I'm not going to call him because a gentleman name that I was wanting to call. He's in Rhode Island, a little bit older. But we all decided we want to go to the beach. Louis didn't have no license. The only kind of driving that he has done was to drive around the block. The other gentleman can't drive. I did some driving back home, but it just like go, come, of 2, 3 times. I can't control. Louis said, let's go. We got on the highway. We were going all the way to Newport Beach. We got there. The car caught on fire. The engine caught on fire. We had to use sand to try to put it off. Luckily for us, the car was able to bring us back. Close it, put the keys right back. So the next day, my uncle decided to go. He said, all the sand everywhere. I said, what happened? Who put sand here? So he asked, oh, we said, yeah, we did. Oh, he called my mom. Your son over here, he's in trouble, all kind of stuff. That wasn't a big one. Harrison, at that time, Harrison was already in the army. So when Harrison came back, he's our son. So when he came back, we all was happy that we were together, 3 of us. So anyhow, there was this one young lady that Louis had serious interest in. So this lady also have interest in Louis. But for me, it didn't. I was everywhere. Oh, please, Johnson, please. I was everywhere. But Louis was always serious. I was drinking, smoking cigarette, and all that kinds of stuff. Louis was none of those things. He won't smoke. He don't drink, because he wanted to make sure his body is, healthy. There was this other girl that I have interest in, but the girl have a system. She don't want you to do anything or nothing like that until she's married. But she also liked me. So one time, we decided we're going to walk from Winking Village in Rhode Island all the way to Smith Street. You take a bus, you're talking about 45 minutes or so. So we decided we're going to go. So the lady got a pack of gum, and she keep giving me gum for the next hour or so. Every time that I chew the gum, she said, well, how's the gum taste now? She's an American, African-American. I said, oh, it's still, he said, ain't it sweet? I said, throw it out. I threw it out, she gave me another one. I chewed gum for over an hour, folks. We went. I came back. The next day, I couldn't open my mouth. True story. My jaw shut, closed. No way. The only thing I can do was to drink pepper soup. So Louis was making fun of that. Oh, my goodness. Louis was making fun of that. So, but he was gracious enough to cook the soup. And then he would say, okay, just use the spoon. The only way I can open my mouth was just between my two teeth and put a spoon there and sip the whatchamacallit. It went on for almost a week. It was a very serious stuff. That's that. Then when Louis found this girl, now the interesting thing was, my uncle apparently used to like this girl, but he didn't let us know. All of us was living with him in the house. So Louis liked this girl, the girl likes Louis. So by my uncle going out and buying things for this girl, we were under the impression that my uncle was buying things for this girl because of the brother Louis. So because Louis not working, so we don't have no money to give this girl. So this girl was very happy to be close to Louis as well. Without understanding that my uncle was doing this thing here because of himself. But we didn't know that. So Louis and the girl was going out. And my uncle didn't know going out. So my uncle was trying to put a number on this girl. Okay. Older that she's not, it's not like she's young, way young, a little bit older than us. But who cares? Who's counting? Nobody. Please give me a break. Who cares? At that time, I was maybe, I'm not going to say my age, but I was going out with somebody who was, my uncle called my mom one time and said, your son over here going out with a lady who's a little bit older than you. My mom would start crying. But anyhow, so one afternoon, Louis and I decided to go visit this girl. So all three of us sitting on the couch. Louis was sitting down, put his head over the girl's lap. And we were talking. So we heard a knock to the door. So I said, come on in. My uncle came in. He said, oh, Samson, Louis, you guys are here? I said, yeah, we're just visiting your uncle. He said, oh, okay. He was angry. He was pissed. But we didn't know. He didn't let us in to say that you were pissed or anything like that. He didn't tell us. He said, okay, Louis, when you and Samson come later, you guys come, I want to talk to you. I said, okay, uncle. He left. We were there playing around. So after that, we decided we're going to go to the house. We went back to the house. All three of us are living together. Harrison, me, my uncle, and Louis, all three of us are living together. But my uncle, he has money. He wasn't broke. I mean, the carpet in the room was unbelievable. TV. We had everything almost. So anyhow, he called us in and said to Louis, and my uncle, let me just tell you a little bit about my uncle now. He like plus women. He doesn't like lady who is skinny. He like oversized or plus size women. Okay, and this girl, she's a little bit choppy. So his thinking was, if he's going out with this girl, he's gonna buy all this fatty stuff to make her plump. That was his thinking. On the other hand, Louis and I was hoping that as soon as Louis started going out with us on a serious note, we'll tell her to calm down a little bit. So you see what I'm going with this thing. So anyhow, my uncle called us. When he got, my uncle, like I said, he grew up in Ghana. So he had the British English accent when he's speaking the English. So he said, Louis, Samson, what were you guys doing in our house? So Louis said, oh, brother, we're just visiting the guy. He said, who is the girl to you? Samson, that your girlfriend, because my own, that the first thing that I need, Samson, girlfriend. Anytime they call my name, Samson, girlfriend. Rhode Island was just bad for me, to be honest with you. Samson, girlfriend. So he said, Samson, that your girlfriend. No, he said, Samson, that your other girlfriend. I said, no. He said, Louis. He said, yeah, I like her. I said, my God. Harrison was setting, because Harrison is like the kid. He was kid anyway. So he wasn't a troublemaker. He wasn't there to do anything. He was just sitting down listening. So my uncle said, Louis, you don't know that me, I like big women. Louis, you don't know that me, I like the woman who have a little bit. Why you think I buy the thing for the woman here? You think that for you? It was a very serious conversation. He went off. He said, these are some of the things people have back home. Our fathers, that's why they can't get along, because each person running behind this person who won't running behind. Why make you think that I would take my money and spend on somebody because of you? Why can't you spend your own money? You guys got to go. Serious note. He said, I'm going to New York. By the time I come back, I want this place cleared out. Take all the TV, the rug, the bed. I want just leave the apartment alone. I want everything gone, and I want all three of you out. My goodness. We didn't know what to do. Luckily for us, a week before, because we ourselves were just trying to move out now too, because it was just kind of embarrassing when you get your friend, you got to go to, we want our own place so we'll be able to do something. So Louis had applied for housing over there in Pawtucket. So the place came open, but we didn't know that. So Louis said, well, I don't know what we're going to do. I said, I don't know what we're going to do either. I said, he's just bluffing. Louis said, no, he's very serious. We got to go. So anyhow, we packed our thing and we cleared the house, took the rug and took everything, the TV, the chair, dining room, everything. We took it. Like I said, luckily for us, the place came open for us in Pawtucket. I think we were one of the few Liberians that went to that Pawtucket project at the time. Other people that were living there, I'm not going to call their names now, but the other Liberians were living there as well. So we moved in. He came back from New York. 2 or 3 days later, he called us back to his apartment when we got in. All brand new TV, brand new bed. All there were 3 rooms. All 3 of them have beds in it. New TV, new bed, new rug, everything. Everything new. Chairs, everything new. He said, how your place? I can't see the place. And that was it. That was the end of us and my uncle. However, one of the things he would never let us do is not to get food. Every week, he comes in and says, okay, let's go to the store. Take us to the store. Get the food. We were there. Samson decided to do all kind of nyamanting, not stealing now, but football and the other nyamanting are all over. And I got busted. Not necessarily crime now, but immigration. So when they got me, somebody who is not doing good for themselves, they sent me back to Liberia. And when they did that, I was there until the incident with my brother and them. I came back Louis, I was in Ohio. So Louis said, come on this side. Let's start all over. So I went back to Rhode Island. And one of the interesting things, I'm going to miss him. To be honest, I'm going to seriously miss him. Because Louis have a kindly spirit in him. He used to, and will tell you. So when I was in Ohio, I was working in a factory, a place over there in Pawtucket, and making a good bit of money. But the job was just difficult. So one day he and I sitting down talking, and he asked me, what do you want to do now? Because you're not going to go back home. There's nothing back there anymore. What are you going to do? I said, Louis, I'm going to go to school. He said, can you work like this and go to school? And I told him no. He said, well, then you're going to have to find other means. One afternoon, came from work, took a few clothes of mine, put them in the car, and I was gone. I got in Ohio. I told Louis, I said, I'm not coming back. I'm done. I left. About a year later, Louis came to Ohio to visit. When he came to visit, I was already in school. Things were hard, but this is what he told me. He said, I know some little bit about school business, Samson, but don't give up. You have to stay with it. You said you wanted to do engineering. You're doing engineering. Stay with it. I had kids, married, going to work at the same time. So he said, doesn't matter. Stay with it. Louis left. And when I left after school, we talked a lot. He's also got married. In fact, when he got married, I was his best man. And I attended their wedding. Their wedding picture, one of the beautiful wedding pictures, I took that. He was just a very good friend and a brother. We did things together. And as we got older, we became very, very close. So usually when we get together, and most of you young people that are with our family that don't understand, sometimes some of you get annoyed when Louis and I started arguing about age and things like that. Some of you get annoyed, but this is the reason why. We believe, because we were born up just about the same time, that I was born in the morning. And I believe Louis was born in the evening. So that makes me the older person. And he refused to accept that. He, on the other hand, believed that he was born in the morning and I was born in the evening. That made him the older person. I refused that up to this time of his death. In fact, the last time we spoke, on his birthdays, I was wondering, I said, why would I want to say happy birthday to some kind of small little baby? He said, you're not coming again? You're train here, you want me to train you? I know I'm older than you are. Every time we get together, that's what we do. That's who we are. So, like I said, I'm not going to be here that much tonight. But this is Louis Samson Toll. It's a tough one. It's a very tough one. He has kids, and he has done well for himself. And one of the things you would see and understand, most people would tell you, Louis is just a generous person. He doesn't have any kinds of mean spirit in him at all. None whatsoever. But what he doesn't like and what he will not take, never took from anybody, is for you to take advantage of him or anybody around him. And he will be the first to say. He will be the first to say. And many people in Rhode Island would say that. But whenever anything happens in a community, Louis is there to support. And many people in Rhode Island will attest to that. Any little thing that happened. Just as people were dying recently in Rhode Island, he'll call me saying, you remember this person? Oh, he's no longer with us. Or saying, you remember this person who was just at his place the last time? He will continue to tell me. And now, he's not with us. That's God making. Who am I to question? So, next week or so, week after next or something like that, he's going to be buried on the, I believe it's the 12th of February. And I will be there. I know it's difficult. Many people we're all concerned about this COVID-19, and that all of us not supposed to be together. But those of us that I can't miss that. I just can't miss and just let have Harrison and Tommy alone. I can't do that. So the other older brothers and sisters that because they're much older, so we want them to stay out of it until the disease calms down. So one of the biggest thing that we all want to do, and the brothers and sisters, the older brothers and sisters, like James K, Anthony Bly, James Joseph K, Jackson Doe, and everybody been suggesting is that after this is over, we will have a memorial service. And at that time, all of us will be there. But Louis have always been someone who will seek the interest of others. Like I said, 2 days before, he sent me a picture of a grave because he wanted us to do certain things on that as well. He's always like that. And I thought that I do my own tribute here. And I'm glad that I have fun doing it, but it's just not gonna be the same because he'll call and start blasting. You haven't called me in 2-3 days. What do you think this is? You know how long you got to stay here? You don't know what will happen to anybody. Why will you not call, Sam? And of course, it was always right. This is exactly that I'm regretting now. Because when he sent me the pictures, my intent was to call and start a discussion about those pictures. But I waited until, okay, that Sunday, I will call him once I get my work situation settled down a little bit. I'm not God. Look what happened. You're not God. Don't think that these things not capable to happen to you. Let us continue to love one another. Pray for one another. You don't know how and when you're going to leave. 2 weeks ago, another brother, Pekwe, a little brother, passed, and we had a family meeting. Louis was at the meeting. We collected the money. Louis paid his own money. Look what's happening now. Another thing that Louis got over me, and my wife was just reminding me the other day when I was wailing here crying. She said, I don't blame you crying. Because whenever that I go to Rhode Island, he and his wife, because remember, we used to live together. So when Uncle take us out to buy food, I don't like too much cooking, but I like to eat. I like to eat meat a lot. So Louis, over the years, come to understand that Samson too like fish and meat. But Louis also liked to fish. He go fishing a lot. And most of the time he has a separate an ice scooter or something where he usually pack all his fish. So when I get in town, he has this big pot that he will cook. Fish, dry everything you can think about will be in it. And Sam, yeah, say okay. One time we got there, he told my wife, my first time my wife meeting, he told my wife, he said the kind of meat your husband can eat meat. The kind of meat you will eat in my house, you will not believe it. And for sure, when we got to the house, the meat was everywhere. I'm gonna miss that. It's gonna be difficult. I feel for Harrison and the rest of the brothers and sisters, especially for Harrison, because they're always together. Another thing that Louis and I used to do in Monrovia, he used to live in Labase before he moved on Camp Johnson Road. And one of my, close the door. No, I'm just kidding. One of my Jews used to live in Labase. So she used to, I want that, no phone. We don't got no phone. So Louis said, okay, let me run over there and get him. And they would come to get me. And he also had a Jew on Camp Johnson Road. I used to go over there. Okay, Louis, 1 year. So we were just close. But to have this devastating, Like I said, the picture that you're looking at up there, all of the white pants. This was the same time. There was back in 1980. I believe it was 1980. Yes, it was two pictures. And as you can see, Louis was skinny too. I was so skinny at the same time. But the interesting thing about those pants was the intent of us buying the white pants. There was a specific reason behind it. There are more we did in Rhode Island, and I'm not going to divulge to people here this evening. No, I'm not going to do that. But one of the reasons was, any young girl, you see us, and you see the white pants, you know we're clean. And we're not no dirty people. So we went, we got it. And the interesting conversation on that white pants, I remember now, to see who going to have the first dirty white pants. We bought the white pants and the white shoes. I can still see my own shoes. Like, I know, Louis, if people get this picture closer, you will see the white shoe he's wearing as well. And the picture right here he took over there, this was this was downtown Providence. Mine was in a house. Okay. So anyway, I want to thank all of you. Let me do this. Any family member who's listening, and if you want to call here, I didn't want, but please don't call and start making us to cry. Please let us. If you give me a call, please do so. If not, we'll close it. I will do a big memorial show when I come back after the burial, and then I'll put something together. But this one will be with family members, and everybody else, so that we will pay tribute. I just wanted to do this because one of the things about this is that I want to come back on air, but I don't want to come on air without doing this for Louis, because then it just doesn't look good. It'll be too fake. I'm surprised that I'm here holding up. I'm very, very surprised, to be honest with you. But it's something that I think I needed to do this. And right now, about the group that I just named, the group that was born about the same time, I think, if I'm not mistaken, there's two ladies and myself still alive, 3 out of the 14, 15 of us. Okay. That's, she's still with us. I'm still with you. And we is still with us as well. Who else? Well, when I went home, Ciade was I was there, but when I left, it didn't take long. He passed. Who else? Who else can I think about right now? I think that's it. Well, Moses Monroe, we're older than Moses Monroe, so we're not gonna count him. Who else? Well, Jerry. I'm not even gonna count Jerry Ponto. I'm talking about my crowd. Who from Town? My crowd. I don't see it. I don't see it. I think there's only 3 of us left out of the whole group. So anyway, if any of the family member calling in, want to call in, that's fine. If not, I would say thank you. It's been a wonderful, wonderful evening. And again, thank to Nathaniel Crypoor, who put one of the videos together for the family. And thank to Mr. Francis Zionso, being, of course, giving us the opportunity to do this. And we will be back on again come tomorrow, I think. I'm not too sure if I'm going to be able to find the strength to come on. But I will be back on Friday, because there's so many things that are happening in Liberia. I also want to have my 2 cents in it. I know I'm bereaved, but I want to have my 2 cents in it. And with this radio stuff here, Louis really liked that, because he used to watch me a lot. He used to watch me, and he used to send me some old records, music that we used to listen to when we were little. And one of the interesting things that I want to point out here before I leave, when we were growing up in Totown, there was this group of guy. They call him Bullshitter in Monrovia. He used to play fun stuff, But what he used to do was they used to put him in the truck along with liquors. The liquors they bring in to Totown and other places for sale. So this guy they have a loudspeaker on the truck,
and he will be talking in the loudspeaker and be singing. They call him bullshitter. He used to dress so. In fact, that's one of the reasons some of us when we put on, even though we can't. I don't know how to dress, but if the people say, I used to say when I grow up I'm gonna be dressed. I mean, when the guy dressed, you think they call him. They used to, his name was bullshitter. In fact, in Monrovia, I saw him in Monrovia, bullshitter. Okay, but he used to come to Totown a lot, and they used to have a music from Nima called Bilolo man. Where I better stop before I start crying. Let's drop that. Anyway, I want to thank all of you that have been listening. It's a wonderful, wonderful time. Let's continue to pray for one another, and please keep the family in your prayer. The wife, the kids, keep them in your prayers, and let's continue to pray for one another. Louis, we will miss you. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. It may nice. I'm examining everything that I do. This is a guy who, Sam, when I get to Rhode Island, I'm waiting for you. You know I gotta go, but I'm waiting for you. I can't leave until my wife, they're gone, but I'm waiting for you. Come so we can go. So when I get to Rhode Island, we used to go, Sam, let's go. Let me buy some few things. We go to buy his tie. What do you think about this tie, Sam? What's about the coat here? What do you think about this? We go buy clothes. He will wait for me when we have some occasion. He will wait for me so that he and I can go to the store so he can buy his clothes. He could have done it. He didn't need me, but he just needed to know me because he knew that when we're together we have fun all the time. Whenever Louis and I get together, even on these teleconferences we have with the total group and thing, that we always have fun. Always. And to the young people, sorry, but this is life. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. And let me close by playing the audio the video that I played earlier. Thank you very much. And I will be back. Those of you that continue to ask for Liberal Progressive, I will be back, except that I just want you to know that I'm bereaved, and that's why. But thank you guys. For those of you I continue to ask, we say thank you. Let's pray for one another. And please be careful out there. The disease is still there. Let's be careful. Good night, folks. Sam Sintor, LeBron Public Radio.
gbọ́ pẹ́ sọ̀ yẹ ọ̀rá ní mi ẹ̀dẹ́ ìgbè ẹ̀tù bí agbá wà yà wá pa. Yóò sàkó ẹ̀ ó nà fẹ́ sà yẹ pé ọ̀ sàkó yìí kí sàkó yìí ní ẹgbẹ́ yìí kọjá kìrìbì ẹ̀ apá. Ìmọ̀lẹ́ yàjà kọjá náà kọjá kìláyìn gbẹ́gbẹ́ èdè káyìn náà yóò àtẹ̀wé pàjọ́ pẹ̀ àjọ lóbi bí àná kànáà wá ó kí bá gbàgbé pàdé kò rẹ̀ ó àjálẹ̀ ó yí ó bàbá pé yòyò pé yòyò kí bí ẹkú ẹ gbọ́ pẹ́ sọ̀ yí ọ́lá ọdún mi àìdé ìjìnlẹ̀ ẹ̀sùn bí apá ẹ wá pa yẹ̀pẹ́ yẹ lédè kúrán lè tó dé wílẹ̀ tó àwé yóò sì bí ẹ̀ wọ́n ìbò ẹgbẹ́ yẹ ẹ̀yẹ wọn kúrọ̀. Yẹ máa tó ní ẹ̀tọ́ ọmọdúnwó wọ́n wá tẹ̀sán mú ní àwọn ará ọmọdúnwó ọmọdúnwó yánú ẹ̀dí yọ yánú ní ìdí yọ wọ́n ní yọ ṣàgbá yọ. Kọjá yẹ o inú mọ́tò ní ẹjẹ́ àtòwò yá o ọmọ náà ṣe é ké wo mú lọ́wọ́ àjí ìkẹ́ yó yẹ̀wé ẹ̀dá sọ̀tàn bí agbá tá a fọ́n ní ẹ̀ bí ọ̀ràn bí ẹ̀ ìsí àbùrẹ̀ yẹ inú bẹ́ẹ̀ fọ́n sí àbùrẹ̀ yẹ ìmẹ̀ ìbùrọ̀jò ní wọ́n ìmẹ̀ ìbùrọ̀jò ìwé o ilé ìtàtò náà o tọ́ náà o yẹ́wò ìtàtò náà o pèsè àládẹ́ tó yé nu ẹ̀. àti tó wá gbé yòyòyò.